Welcome back, gamers. We've got another video for you today, and I want to talk about 5 things that you may or may not know about the new Halloween game, which is coming out next year. But with some new trailers and some new dev blog posts, we are learning a lot, and they are giving some good information little by little. And I wanted to point out a couple things that you may have missed. The first one being, we actually have gameplay of the Stalk Mechanic. Now, in the initial trailer, they didn't explicitly state what this was, and they haven't, I guess, officially confirmed, but in looking at the footage, it's pretty darn obvious this is indeed the Stalk Mechanic, which they briefly mentioned in a blog post that came out a couple days ago. Now you can see here, Michael is stalking the old man, or, older gentleman who is inside the house there. And you kind of see the screen hone in, goes a little bit red, and then we see the same character where Michael is again stalking on the back porch, and the screen goes red yet again. This has got to be the Stalk Mechanic, and how exactly it plays in, we don't know for sure, as we haven't seen the player HUD thus far. We just know that Michael will be a first person point of view, and that is honestly, and who knows, maybe there won't be a HUD. I think they'll have to include something for it, but they did put out a video just yesterday about the breathing, like Michael first person point of view breathing. It's kind of crazy. I'll play it here. It's just a couple seconds long. But that's super neat. It's like, it's the full Michael Myers experience. So I think it's safe to say this is indeed the Stalk Mechanic, and I'm excited to learn more about that. Second thing I want to touch on is that we have multiple playable characters already confirmed. Now, in the last video I put out about the Halloween game, I kind of mentioned, are they going to be set characters? Are we going to be able to customize them? We still don't know for sure, but kind of thinking about it more and seeing, the history of these games and all that, I kind of feel like it probably will be set characters. Which I think is fine. Allows you to develop lore. You can give backstories and information on these characters, kind of similar to how the characters were in the Friday the 13th the game. And yeah, so we have a couple new characters which they just showed us in the most recent trailer, and we have another one that was confirmed back in the release trailer. We can see that character again here in the newer trailer. It's a little hard to make out, but it definitely is the same character. And I will say, I do think there's even another character which we haven't seen from the front yet. We just see the back of them. It's very dark. To me, it kind of looks like a trucker character. You kind of have a mullet going on with like a trucker hat, maybe a big jacket. That's just my take on it. I don't believe it's any of these other characters that we have seen. And then on the porch here, we have potentially another character. This one I feel less strong about, but the other one, who is a trucker, I feel very confident that is going to be a playable character. And my reasoning for that is because we see them holding a flashlight. And that brings us to our third thing you might have missed, and that's hero characters can use flashlights. Now, it doesn't look like every hero character necessarily has a flashlight, and maybe it just depends if that character has it out at the time, or maybe they haven't found it on the map yet. This could be an item that you have to find to better light your path to see things and guide other characters to the exits. But we know for a fact hero characters can use flashlights, and we've seen this in the trailers. In the new blog post, the devs have also confirmed that hero characters have flashlights. They have also stated that if you are careless with your flashlight, and using it willy-nilly, then it looks like that can alert Michael in some sense, and kind of just turn you into a sitting duck. So got to be stealthy, got to play smart if you are the hero character. Fourth thing you may have missed, and this one's a little bit more of an obvious one, so forgive me, but jump scares are going to be aplenty with the Stalk Mechanic, with the shape jump mechanic. It's pretty darn evident that jump scares are going to be a big focus of the game. We kind of see in the trailer with that trucker character, he turns the corner and there's Michael, boom, slashing him open. They've also stated that these mechanics are tied together pretty heavily. So, you know, maybe you have to stalk a character for X amount of time before you can, you know, jump scare kill them. Who knows? We'll have to learn more later, but it definitely seems like there is a focus on jump scares, and I think this is good. This, you know, this adds to the replayability for the game. It's exciting. Everyone loves a good jump scare. I mean, some people hate them, but you know, if you're playing a horror game, you gotta be open to having some good jump scares. Think, you know, like Silent Bell Wraith and Dead by Daylight. I think that's one of maybe the scariest things in the game, or even a sneaky pig who crouches and then kind of gets you out of nowhere. I do think those are two characters that Dead by Daylight actually does pretty good for stealth. Michael in that game is a different story. Ghostface has done pretty well as well, and you know, maybe it is going to be similar to how Ghostface works, where you do have to stalk the characters for X amount of time, reveal them, and then you can, you know, have the opportunity to slash them. And I guess we'll see if Michael can kind of do that here. And so the final thing that I wanted to touch on, and this one again might be a little obvious, but I think it's worth pointing out, is the team really cares about the gameplay and how matches flow. It's, you know, they have stated time and time again, they have play tested, they have looked at the stealth mechanics. They're kind of setting up for some epic gameplay finales, which they kind of mentioned here in the blog post we got the other day, and that's that, you know, matches will begin slow, you have to be cautious, you have to be methodical, and then, you know, as you know, the match kind of goes on, situations get a little more crazy here and there for both sides, then, you know, you've got more residents coming in, maybe the hero characters have called the police have arrived, now they're flooding the scene, you know, maybe Michael has stalked people, he's killed a couple, or he's gearing up to. You're really building up a good climax of, you know, how the final showdown will be between our hero characters and the shape that is Michael Myers. So we'll see. You know, I think the team definitely knows what they are doing. It seems like any post they put out is very well thought out, very, you know, locked in on what their goal is for the game. I would say, you know, stealth was a big factor in TCM that, you know, it seemed like was going to be a big thing, and then the game came out and that kind of went away. So I guess, you know, we'll see if Halloween the game can get the stealth factor a little more honed in and polished, and we'll see. I think it'll be really cool. You know, they're stating that, you know, as far as these gameplay finales go, you know, Michael's got to be stealthy, the hero character's got to be stealthy, and I think that is a big element that I really hope they can pull off, because I think, you know, that combined with some jump scares is going to make for some just epic moments in the game, and, you know, it really will feel like you are in a Halloween movie. So that's kind of it for now. Appreciate y'all sticking around and watching and listening. If you want to be up to date with all things Halloween the game, please consider liking the video and subscribing, and we will be putting out, you know, information as it comes, as I feel it's important. We'll get some information up here for you all, and yeah, let me know in the comments, what do you think? Are you excited? Is there anything that I missed that you think is even more important than these 5, or, you know, what have I missed? Let me know in the comments, and I'll catch you guys later. Have a good one. Bye bye.